Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investing. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company Brain here at Master Investor. Ensure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that we know when we go live or upload a valuable talk on money that can literally change our finances as long as we apply the information that we are learning from the digital courses and other products that we have available on our website. Check out the links in the description, join our community, subscribe to the newsletter. That way we get all the articles via email and we can educate ourselves daily on the most important education of all, financial education. Three types of education that exist. Number one, academic education. We need to learn how to read and write. And then we have professional education. If a person wants to become a doctor, wants to maybe get into a field that requires them to get a license, then that is professional education. Majority of people tend to go that route because that's what they've been taught to do. So we're going to rewire our brains so that we can operate with the wealthy mindset, because first is the context that we need to change, and then we need to add the content. If a person is operating with the wrong context, with the poor context, then that person, regardless of how much money they make, they will still end up losing the money, or at least not multiplying the money successfully and getting ahead financially because they lack financial education. The most important thing that we can do is to invest in ourselves, self-development and financial education. So the third education is financial education, and that is the one that is lacking among the school systems around the world. And the reasons why is because we have to go back to history and figure out what happened. Why was the financial education taken out of the school systems? And that was due to 1902 or 1903 is when the Rockefeller family, or John D. Rockefeller, took over the school board system, and they instilled a mission which every business, like we mentioned here in our community, is built to solve a problem in the world, and it has a mission. It's one of the eight integrities that composes a great business, is a mission. And the mission of the school system was composed then to create two types of people: employees and soldiers. When they come out of the school system, people come out looking for a job, thinking like an employee, wanting benefits, security. They work for earned income or ordinary income. Is when they exchange time for money. Now, we need great employees. There's nothing wrong with that. Either we're playing one of the roles of the game of money, right? We have four different players. We have the employee, self-employed, business owner, and inside investor. On the right side of the cash flow circle is where we build true wealth. Is where we find the business owner and inside investor. On the left side, we find the employee and the self-employed. And they speak their own lingo. They approach money in a certain way. And then on the right side, we approach it completely different. We understand the new rules of money. We also are equipped with the tools and resources and the understanding of how money is created today, which is very important because today money is debt. A lot of people still operating with the thought that money is real money. It's not real money any longer. It's a currency. It's backed up by confidence only. It's not backed up by gold. It's basically paper and fiat money, monopoly money. Therefore, we need to use debt as much as possible, because since money is created with debt, debt is tax-free according to the law. As long as we are allocating debt in the right places, investing it properly, where it's creating passive income, and we're able to pay the interest back successfully on time and pay any debt service cost that comes with the loan that we acquire. And that loan still pays us money because it's paying itself with the revenue of the company or the cash flow that we're getting from the investment that we did. And also every time we make a payment to that, whatever is left is our positive cash flow. So in other words, if we using 100% finance through a loan to invest into a sound business or an investment that produces positive cash flow quickly back to us, where we give that money to pay the bank and the interest and also pay us at the end of all expenses, right? At the end of the day, how much money are we going to keep? That's the question. And we're going to learn how to sell without selling using smart marketing. In other words, not selling ourselves personally. We're going to master sales with systems. That way, we detach ourselves from the whole selling process and we understand how to put the systems together and how to operate a true business that turns into a real brand. But most importantly, we need to understand that it comes from our financial education and self-development. What type of leaders are we? So the four players of the game of money: employee, self-employed, business owner, and inside investor. On the right side of the cash flow circle, that's where we build wealth. Today we have a topic, and it's going to be on who should we hire for our team, examining the distinctions between self-employed or independent contractors and employees. We need to understand the difference between the two so that we can figure out who are we going to hire for our teams. I want us to also grasp what I talked about earlier on our talk, which is money is created with debt. Therefore, debt is money. We need to walk with that because debt is tax free. So we're going to use debt as a form to leverage our gains, our profits, our cash flow, our wealth to the next level every single time and build true wealth that is tax free legally. We're going to make sure that our paperwork is in order, the legalities. That's another integrity of a wealthy business, is having the legalities in order. That's how we build intrinsic value into a company that turns into a brand, is by protecting what we offer to the world, our solution. It has to be unique and it has to be protected through a patent, through intellectual property. We need to register our logo, trademark the name, so that we protect our assets. And that way it becomes a valuable brand. It's not here for a few years. It's here to stay forever and to solve the problem that was created to solve. So the question always is, what type of problems do we want to solve? And we need to write down a plan, because investing is having a plan, as we learn in our community. People that call themselves investors and they have no plan nor an exit strategy to their investment, and all they're doing is buying, holding, and praying that the market is going to go up or something is going to change so that they can sell and get those capital gains. That is a trader or a gambler. It's too risky. It's not the investment or business that is risky, is the investor and the entrepreneur behind the operation that makes it risky. So what type of leaders are we? What type of investors are we? There are different levels of investors. There are different categories of investors, and we learn them inside of our community. Make sure you go get our ebooks. We have 3 right now: how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, the 10 new rules of money, and how to invest in crypto to build wealth. We are releasing our 4th ebook. It's called How to Raise Capital to Build Wealth, because the job number 1 of a wealthy entrepreneur is to raise capital. And the number 1 skill is to master how to sell without selling, using systems and smart marketing, so that we overcome rejection, we overcome any sort of doing it ourselves. We're not going to be knocking on people's doors. We're going to have systems selling our products and services to the world, and we don't have to even put our face. Hopefully, we're following the steps of a true investor, which is building businesses for the world. It's not just for us. Otherwise, it shouldn't be a business, it's a hobby. It needs to be something that is solving people's problems successfully. And we need to pick a niche that is well pegged. We need to really think about it, because we don't want to be wasting a lot of time building something that doesn't have any scalability. We need to make sure that we can scale over and over again, meaning that we can reach the entire world. We live in the information age, which opens an opportunity for people who are passionate about a certain subject, and they can deliver talks on that, and we can package information because people are willing to pay for that information. Since we have information for free, is hard to find the right information because there's a lot of garbage in between the good information. Having organized information becomes very valuable. We only have 24 hours a day, and we need to make sure that we're investing those 24 hours in the right sources. Otherwise, we could be going a totally different route to where we really want to go. That's why it's important to have a plan for investing, because if not, then we cannot call ourselves investors and we're not going to become successful at investing. We have to have an exit strategy before we even invest into whatever we're going to acquire. There are 5 asset classes that we can invest in, and they all require financial education. The 5 asset classes are: number 1, business; number 2, real estate; number 3, crypto; number 4, paper assets; number 5, commodities. It is crucial that we master how to build a business. In our opinion here at Master Investor, it's all about developing the skills that are necessary to become an inside investor. And one of those skills is to learn everything about the business and how to build a business from scratch, how to bring an idea to reality and launch it into the market with systems in place where people are willing to pay for that solution. And then eventually we can also take that company to the public. And now we become the person that sells the shares, not the ones that are investing into buying the shares. Now we become the sellers, which is even more powerful. That's when we really have the level of the highest investor, right? That's when we learn everything about the business. We took it to the public. We're selling shares now. That's how we can become ultra wealthy, because we're raising capital from the public. People are lining up. That's a true capitalist. People are lining up for our businesses. They're lining up to give us their money. That's the definition of a true capitalist. Every time we open up a business or we launch something, people are willing to give us their money because we have a track record. We understand how to solve problems. A true investor, an inside investor, is looking to solve problems. So we have to solve problems to become wealthy. We have to pick the right problem to solve and make sure that we are innovating at all times. Today is all about innovation. It's very easy to perish if we're not innovating as a company or organization. And we need to grow our leaders. So invest in our inner circle team and also invest in the entire company culture. Make sure that we're providing our team members and whoever is in our company with the right tools, with the right culture, the right environment, the right win-win payment plan. If we're going to hire employees or independent contractors, we want people to do the best for our companies. We want to make sure that we give them customer service to the highest level. We need to really operate with excellence when it comes to businesses, because it's all about reputation, and there's too much competition around that. If we're not on our tippy toes, if we're not delivering what we say we are going to do and exceeding the expectations of our customers by under promising and over delivering every time, and approaching with that attitude, with a positive attitude, and listening to our customers, because they will tell us where we need to go and what else we need to bring into the marketplace to solve more of their problems. It is important that we also maintain our customer aware through email marketing that is valuable. It's not just soliciting the customers, but providing value about our products and the solution that they decided to purchase from us. What are we going to give them every single time we communicate with them is a topic that we need to really pinpoint and deliver that valuable content that they're looking for, something that is empowering to them. As they read, as they receive, they're empowering the life. They have solutions, we're answering their questions, and they cannot wait to receive the next email from us, because what we have there is pure value. Summary: Be sure we understand the distinctions between an independent contractor and employee before employing. Both choices offer advantages and disadvantages and should be carefully evaluated. Consult a certified public accountant to ensure that we are managing our independent contractors or employees appropriately to minimize all liability on our end. Bonus, find out 3 sales strategies to improve the bottom line of our businesses at the end of today's talk. I got 3 sales strategies that we will share at the end so that we can apply it into our daily plan so that we can have more success. We can elevate our sales. Remember, it's all about the speed in which we're selling on autopilot. We don't want to be attached to our businesses. We're going to be working on our businesses, not in our businesses. We are not the CEO of our businesses. We are the chairman, or if you're a woman, then you're the chairwoman of the business. So we want to hire a CEO. We want to hire a president. We want to allocate the right people, the experts, where they need to be. And we want to bring smart people to work together to solve the problem that we created our company to solve. And we need to be great leaders to bring out the best out of smart people. One major decision to make if we are considering launching a business or have already done so is whether to use independent contractors or recruit staff or hire an employee. Both offer advantages that merit serious evaluation. First and foremost, though, it is critical to understand that every state has different regulations pertaining to the classification of independent contractors. To ensure that we are correctly classifying both workers and contractors, we should consult the local expert. If they are misclassified, there are serious financial repercussions. With that out of the way, let's examine the benefits and drawbacks of hiring contractors or employees in more detail. The distinctions between independent contractors and employees. First, have a look at the following chart or the following list that we have here. This can assist us in comprehending the IRS standards for determining whether an individual is an employee or an independent contractor or self-employed. Employee works for us, the employer or business owner, 100% of their time, at least during the length of or time it takes to achieve a specific goal. Number 2, hours and days of work are scheduled by us. Number 3, it is trained by us and must perform work in a particular fashion, sequence, or method. Number 4, is provided with tools and materials and must work on our premises. 5, must perform the work personally. 6, is paid hourly, weekly, or monthly. Self-employed or independent contractor work for us, the business owner, on a part-time basis, may also be working for other companies or individuals at the same time. That's 1. Number 2, is given a goal and a deadline, but no specific schedule is set. Number 3, is responsible only for the attainment of a goal without specific requirements on how the goal must be achieved. Number 4, provides own tools and materials and may work from home, on location, etc. Number 5, may hire assistants or subcontractors to accomplish the goal. Number 6, is paid on a peer project commission basis or invoice as for time worked. Number 7, hold their own business licenses, permits, insurance, etc. Now that we know how the 2 categories differ, let's examine the key factors that go into business ownership and which category will be most appropriate for us. Pay and additional perks. An independent contractor bills us on a time worked or per project basis if we recall our first litmus test. These employees are not eligible for traditional company benefits. Employee benefits include profit sharing, pension plans, medical and dental insurance, stock allocation or options, and pay card allowances. If we're just starting out, these benefits may be quite costly to think about, but remember that they are benefits and are not necessary to provide. Working hours. When it comes to employees, this is a very delicate subject. To ensure compliance, make sure we review our state's employment regulations. Considerations pertaining to employees include whether they are full-time or part-time, hourly or salaried, and whether they are exempt or non-exempt. These factors will impact payroll taxes, hourly tracking, and even require breaks. If we choose to use staff, proceed with extreme caution and consult a specialist on how to handle this delicate subject. Termination. We will be inevitably have to fire employees, establishing a termination provision that specifies the conditions under which an employee may be let go, the amount of notice that must be given, or the suitable payment in lieu of notice is the greatest method to shield our business from future wrongful dismissal claims. Be advised that laws in several U.S. states permit employers to fire employees at will before alerting an employee that they have been dismissed. Make sure we are aware of the legislation in our state. Make sure we are correctly classifying workers as either independent contractors or employees. By consulting with our controller or certified public accountant, if we choose to hire staff, we may want to use an employment contract that includes clauses pertaining to non-competition or confidentiality. Which is preferable, independent contractors or employees? Payroll taxes, workers' compensation, health care and benefits, pensions, salaries, and other internal operations must all be considered by employers. It goes without saying that this calls for a committed person, so we are either in the trenches ourselves or we are paying someone else to be there for us. Even though this hire may be beneficial, if we are just starting off, it may be an expensive solution. The alternative, however, it is to enter into a business relationship with an independent contractor. In this case, a contractor is someone who is contracted to perform services for a business under a written or oral agreement. By being independent, this means that we, as a party to the service contract, pay the individual a flat fee based on our negotiated terms. The independent contractor is responsible for their own well-being, including all of those little details discussed above: taxes, health care, benefits, etc. By law, an independent contractor is specifically designated not to be an employee, meaning our business takes on none of the obligations, liabilities, or responsibilities attached to the employer-employee relationship. Independent contractor best practices. If we are looking to work with individuals on an independent contractor basis, be sure to, at the very minimum, enter into an independent contractor service agreement. Remember, everything must be put in writing when we do business. It's not about hiding our money. It's in fact about documenting everything that we do, because the laws and the tax code is in favor of the wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors, those who have financial education and the appropriate team in place to navigate the laws successfully, to minimize taxes, even when we make more and more and more money to our investments, and we keep more money because we're reducing taxes all the way to zero, because we use in debt as much as possible. We love being in debt. We have to use debt. Whoever wants to become wealthy in this age, we need to learn how to manage this debt and use it to minimize taxes, because debt is tax free. So whoever is out there saying be debt free, that person needs financial education, because they're missing the biggest wealth shift that we have ever experienced, which is happening in front of us right now. We have to be in position and we have to be prepared for any type of economy that comes our way. However, the wealth shift is happening for those who are ready to position ourselves in the marketplace to capitalize any single trend that comes our way. And we have to learn how to see that trend before it even becomes a mainstream trend. And we need to get there early. We need to build the business. We need to launch the idea. We need to incorporate. We need to protect our assets. We need to actively invest to become an inside investor, to become an extraordinary investor, to have a thriving investment portfolio that is giving us passive income, specifically on a constant basis, on a daily basis, because we have different assets and different asset classes, and they're all working to give us positive cash flow and sometimes capital gains income. But specifically, rule number one in our community here at Master Investor is that we work to build passive income and multiply money through sound investing. The contract should contain all of the key points mentioned in the above list and ensure that we stand a better chance successfully arguing that we are not an employer. Additionally, all independent contractors should submit invoices to our company to cover any work that we perform. To learn more about these classifications and which will work best in our business, read our books written for the business owner and inside investor. For those who are willing to understand and go through the process of mastering the skill of selling with systems and smart marketing and raising capital like a wealthy entrepreneur does, and how to multiply money through sound investing like an inside investor does. Once we have all of those skills in place and we are actively investing and we're getting the 3 E's of a master investor: financial education, that's the first E. The second E is financial experience, meaning that we're actively investing and we're getting that real life experience. Whatever we're learning, we're applying it into our investing strategy. And number 3, excess of positive cash flow. We have to receive passive income, or also known as excess of positive cash flow, from our investments to call ourselves a master investor. Those are the 3 E's of a master investor. We're thriving through passive income. That's the income that we pay everything with. Here's today's bonus. What are the 3 strategies to improve our sales for our businesses? Our ability to sell on autopilot with systems and smart marketing is the key to everything for our company, whether we succeed or fail. Even the most successful salespeople are terrified of being rejected. So don't let fear stop us. Recall that the revenue in our positive cash flow is equivalent to sales, specifically sales on autopilot. Many people who want to be financially independent frequently go to Master Investor for advice. It follows that when people are getting ready to launch a business, they invariably come to our community to learn from our products and mentors. What exactly should we do next to be successful is their key query. The same thing we often say in our money talks. Make sure we train ourselves in sales, specifically sales on autopilot with systems and smart marketing. Sales, the initial phase of the process. When we decided to launch Master Investor, we embraced such techniques to grow our infrastructure for long-term and short-term success. Same thing happens with all the great businesses that we see right now. Nike, Amazon, Apple, even clothing brands. We can see the brand and the 8 integrities well established. The 8 integrities of a successful business: mission, team leadership, cash flow, communications, systems, legal, and product. Those are the 8 integrities of a successful business, and we must have them well established as we build our businesses. Otherwise, the business will fail if one of them is missing. So what is the mission of our business? Here at Master Investor, our mission is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity. So what is the mission that we have for our businesses and our idea that we're going to launch? We got to start right there. Write it down. When we decide to launch any business, we need to have that in mind. What is the mission of this business? What are we solving? What's the vision of the business? A business needs to be built to raise capital from the front end, customers, through autopilot sales, and raise capital from the back end of the business, such as private investors, banks, and other capital institutions. Whatever idea we want to launch, make sure that we create a prototype and we test it. We have to launch it. We have to get those sales coming in. Okay. And also sometimes we can even pre-sell it. Even before the prototype is ready, we're still getting sales coming through, and they're putting them on a waiting list so that once it gets released, those are the first people that will get the real product. So the business has to be built to raise capital from the front end on autopilot. When we build a business, we need to detach ourselves from our business and ask ourselves the question, okay, now we have to have this business that needs to run on itself. What is missing from it that is stopping it from doing that and from growing on its own and expanding successfully to complete the mission that it was created for? This is why it's critical that we establish the legalities and all the integrities of a successful business. However, like most people, they detested sales. They are afraid of selling just like everyone else, or at least most people are. And they are afraid of being told what. But when it comes to doing it on autopilot in the wealthy entrepreneur way, we do not have to feel such rejection because it is happening while we are not present. We have systems in place doing the selling and telling for us in order to sell on autopilot. We have to understand about sales funnels, which are simple but effective websites that convert visitors to real sales. Mastering sales on autopilot is the best thing we could have done for ourselves. Selling is a skill. Many people need years to become experts at selling without selling, but we don't have to take years. As long as we're using systems and artificial intelligence and we're getting the right mentors in our team, we need to pick who are we listening to wisely, because otherwise we could be listening to the wrong information, and time is the most valuable asset we all have. Make sure that we're investing the time where we need to grow our wealth. One of the main difference between the wealthy and poor is the way we invest our time. We have to control our time at all times. We have to have plans that are aligned with our goals. That's why having a plan of action daily with different tasks. And of course, we have to have a plan for every investment that we ever do, any type of business transaction. We have to have a plan with an exit strategies, a winning business plan with an exit strategy, because investing is having a plan. However, we must become an expert at selling if we wish to run our own company and be successful at it. We must master the art of selling on autopilot with systems and smart marketing. Greatness doesn't happen by chance, nor does it occur in a vacuum. Being passionate about what we do and having a clear idea of what we can and want to be the best at are the first two factors that lead to greatness. Discipline must follow with a strategic plan. Consistency and discipline will ensure long-term greatness. So we have talent, and now we feed it with discipline. We're working on our craft daily. We're studying, we're reading, we're developing our vocabulary like we're doing at this very moment, listening to this extraordinary talk on money, business, and investing. The top 3 sales strategies to master. A salesperson with decades of combined experience have discovered 3 of the most important lessons. Number 1, determine what the other person desires and assist them in obtaining it. Even seasoned salesmen tend to concentrate solely on pitching a particular product or set of service. Few people make an effort to ascertain a lead's true desires before launching into a full-on sale. In other words, when we try to sell someone something, they always say no for a reason, even if they are the most qualified lead in the world. It is our responsibility to determine what is preventing them from moving forward once we hear that initial no, and entails improving our ability to listen and ask the appropriate questions. Rather than asking ourselves, why are we being rejected by our lead? Why is my lead rejecting? Our approach is a better question. We probably do have the ideal answer, but they require a little more persuasion. There are instances when this occurs because the lead has a hidden agenda that we may not be aware of. In other cases, it can be because the package we are given only fits 90% of the time and the remaining 10% requires some little adjustments. In any event, pay close attention and make the appropriate inquiries. Number 2, use questions to address objections. Why is the most crucial question we can pose to a hesitant lead, because we are rephrasing the discourse when we say that one straightforward word. We don't put pressure on ourselves. Instead, we keep our prospect talking and giving us information. We give it a try. The next time a lead declines our offer of a discount or a different product, simply ask, what makes this not a good fit for you? They can afford this right now, will be the response 9 times out of 10. Even when the solution is flawless, this type of token resistance is all too typical. What do we do then? Attempt asking why once more, but in various situations. For instance, why is it so costly? In contrast to what? They may wind up responding to their own criticism if we bring attention back to our lead. In the best situation, we move closer to a transaction by asking why. At the very least, we will have a good explanation for why our offer isn't working, allowing us to make any necessary adjustments, because we gotta improve too. Number 3, get over our shyness and apprehension about approaching unknown people to us. In terms of selling, we have discovered the following 2 differences between introverts and extroverts. Because they take the time to prepare, introverts are frequently significantly more effective marketers than they believe. Because they are afraid of being rejected, extroverts are frequently equally as cautious and hesitant when it comes to selling. To put it in another way, it is not always the case that extroverts make better marketers. Extroverts appear to be prevalent in the selling industry, but that doesn't mean they didn't face the same challenges as the rest of us. In actuality, rejection is a fear shared by everyone. Even if we are the most self-assured person in the world, we will always harbor a fear of rejection. However, using systems and smart marketing in a combination with a winning business plan, then we will not experience such a rejection on our face. And having thick skin, which comes from building our leadership skills and knowledge through self-development and getting that financial education every single day, so that we have more of a thick skin when it comes to facing adversities in our business journey. It will be done without us feeling any of the rejections, as the leads that do convert compared to the ones that rejects us or rejects the offer will be far greater than the ones that do not. And since it's happening in real time without us being present, we don't feel it. So whoever doesn't like the offer, that person clicks to the next offer or to the next video. And we don't really get to feel that because we're not there present. We're building something else. Remember, we have freedom. That's why we do what we do as a wealthy entrepreneur and inside investor. That's the ultimate reward, total freedom, being able to control our time and still be able to make money through investing because we're controlling companies and assets that are producing passive income and sometimes capital gains income. We're using that money to pay for all of our expenses. And every time we want something new, we create an asset or acquire an asset to pay for that expense of whatever item we want. So we will have bad debt too. It's not about shrinking. It's about actually expanding and learning how to live above our means. It requires self-development daily and reading financial education and applying that and having that plan in action. Therefore, quit using justifications like we are afraid of rejection or we are just not good at selling. Everyone can make sales on autopilot as long as we put the systems in place with a product and brand behind it. Every business is built to solve a problem in the world. Every day, the most wealthy entrepreneurs and inside investors face our fear. We deal with it and overcome it with systems and smart marketing and having the right group of people around us, the right team. Who are we hanging around with? Who are we listening to? What are we reading about? Okay, that will determine a lot of our future. Consider selling faster and on autopilot. If we are currently earning 6 figures and more on positive cash flow, consider what our life would be like if we were able to increase our investment income with speed. Anyone today can quickly become a multi-millionaire, billionaire, and even a trillionaire due to the power of the information age, technology, and artificial intelligence. Consider the potential benefits of expanding our business, spending more time with our loved ones, and improving our quality of life. Master Investors Podcast and all of the social media platforms have financial education. It's worth listening to it. Join us on our mission. We will impart to all partners the priceless techniques that will enable us to conquer our fear of selling just as we did. Our ability to sell is the key to success or failure in business. We must market our thoughts, our message, our goods, and above all, ourselves. Why wouldn't we want to become an expert seller if sales translate into more income for our businesses and positive cash flow for us? Start investing in high quality financial education. We have 3 books: The 10 New Rules of Money, How to Build Cash Flow with the Internet, Turn Passive Income On, How to Invest in Crypto to Build Wealth, find lucrative tools on our newsletter. Our mission here at Master Investor is to be the global, authentic brand of money, business, and investing that elevates the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education, made simple with lucrative opportunities to build passive income, win-win partnerships, and true wealth. Comment, like, and share. Follow us for more financial education content. And make sure that if you have any questions, drop it below. I hope that today's talk has elevated our financial IQ. Let's make a plan. Let's apply what we have learned. Let's figure out what type of product or solution we want to bring into the world.